Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela. How is everybody doing this week? I'm feeling a lot better this week. Most people I know are also doing better that were sick last week, the week before, etc. So I don't know if we've kind of got over that shift or what, but yes, I feel way better, way better. Does anybody find it hard to believe it's Wednesday? Yes! I don't know how time could go faster, but it still manages to keep going faster, and I kind of get used to it, and then it goes faster again, and it was like this morning, I'm like, I can't believe it's Wednesday! I don't know where the other 6 days went. I really don't. I actually stopped to look at the Darth Vader because you guys were talking about it. There's so many, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting really blasé and jaded because I think a lot of these would have been a big deal Mandela like 7 years ago. And I'm like, but now I'm like, oh, another weird animal. Oh, another weird this, blah, blah, blah. But yes, I have a lot of Mandelas, not a lot of super massive ones. I did see the season of the eclipse season. I looked it up and it's bizarre because they're like, well, they come in chunk like batches, but yet they're calling it seasons. Like they should call it like an eclipse period or an eclipse zone or something, but they're calling them seasons. Like I guess batches of eclipses together are seasons, but that's just, it's a weird word to pick for that. I mean, it doesn't really work for what it currently is. So I'm wondering if down the line there will be March's eclipse season or something. I don't think we're there yet, but the word that's picked does not make sense for how they're describing it. I think who was it that you guys just mentioned it on here? Somebody else had mentioned eclipse season somewhere. I don't know. I have like too many Mandelas. I have too many saved ones. So we're not getting through to them. I'm like 2 days behind on the comments. So I made some progress on the comments. I'm only 2 days behind on the comments. Okay, let's see what we got. I'm just kind of reading through everything in here. All right, so yeah, I just had to stop and look at Darth Vader real quick since you mentioned it. I think I've mentioned some of this before, but I do not remember. Somebody said something about shoulder pads. I don't remember this thing. This is an iconic image from one of the earlier ones. I don't believe we had this, and when I was looking at the other ones, I did notice there's now a weird, like the cape hangs over, and there's like, on some of the images, there's this weird pokey thing, and I believe it is this shoulder booba pad thing. So these parts here had shown up already, but it didn't have that. Now not that that's illogical if you have all this, but it wasn't there. The other thing I do believe I've mentioned before, but I don't remember this fabric. It looks like fabric from like a sleeping bag or something. It's all quilted, like quilted fabric business. He did not wear gray quilted fabric. And I don't know if it's really gray, but it's looking really gray. Because this is black, so what the heck? This looks gray. That looks gray. So I don't know if he's going to turn to a gray boy. He also did not have a cod piece. And now I see there's like this little cutout shape in the cod piece that looks like a hot dog or whatever you want to call it, or a bomb. And I'm like, what the heck? Okay. So yes, there has been a few changes, I think. And even more lights. It's funny when these lights start showing up, there's this like one or two, and I'm like, with that on there. Of course, his belt's got a silver clasp now. I mean, like, he's going to be a Christmas tree if this keeps up. There's just more lights every last time I look on the outfit. I kind of feel like this looks like it's gray here too, doesn't it? I don't know. So like sometimes you go, oh, it's just lighting, but then later it does change to that color. So I'm like suspicious now when I see something that I want to write off as lighting issues and reflections. So I'm trying to come back. I mean, like, look at how silvery those are now. That's ridiculous. Is this even real? Maybe this is a fake one. You know, maybe they just imposed that over. I don't think that's a real one. Okay, that's the one we just looked at. But yeah, all of the pieces here, they're so silvery now. Okay, let's see. This iconic image. Can't really see crap in that one. Yeah, see, there it is. That same ridiculous... It looks like he's got pajamas on under there. Now, I know I've commented on that before, but I swear it's worse now. It's more pajama-y. Oh, so you know what? It does... This area here looks weird now. It's all, like, flared out, but it doesn't set down onto... I think that's what's changed right here. That looks weird now. Where's the chain for the cape? That's an older Mandela, but... Okay. Yeah, see, look right there now. This is different down here. It's all flared out weird. So I would say that change since last time we looked. Eyes. I mean, there's a lot of other changes. Jackie, I think you're just behind us because we've actually went over a lot of the other ones in the past. I do agree the whole helmet looks different, but it just keeps changing and keeps changing and keeps changing. He didn't have the chain. What else? What are the old changes? He didn't have any gray, of course. Now he has this nose thing and these rivets. This mouth area turned into like a triangle, but that's just older ones though. At one point there was no stripe along the head like that. For sure that one, there was a time when that was not there for me. Like the whole thing is different. He now has a long dent on that guard. Yeah. It's shaped like, you know what? This is a giant coincidence. I don't know. Who designed that? Yeah, you're right. See, it's funny because you're just kind of like, yep, these are ones that are older Mandelas for us. So when you first learned the Mandela, it's extra hard because you've got years of Mandelas all stacked up that you learn all at once. So it's just like... Of course, it is going pretty fast now. It's probably harder to learn of it now than before. Because there's more years stacked up, and I swear it's moving faster now. The laughing cow's nose ring is gone. That's an old Mandela, though, isn't it? Laughing cow. Yeah, that's an old one for me. That one was years ago. They talked about it on Retcon. That the nose ring is gone. And people don't remember these goofy earrings. The heck is this business? They weren't there. There was the nose ring. Actually, and it wasn't that laughy. And the nose wasn't like white. And it didn't look like this... creepy smile. It's like totally different. The nose, when did the nose even turn white? I don't think it was white the last time I looked. I think that might be new with this white nose business. I think that is new since last time. But these are the earrings with the laughing cow on it, on the laughing cow. That was the older one. It kind of looks like a weird devil creature now. But yeah, the nose. I don't remember that being white. You can't keep up with these things anymore. Mercury, don't tell me it's Mercury retrograde. I don't want to hear about it. No, you know what? I was sick for weeks. I swear, like almost a month got eaten by being sick. The cow had the nose ring last week. No way! We'd had this on years ago. Oh my gosh. There must have been a lot of shifts. That is an old Mandela for me. That nose ring is gone. Like years ago. I think it was even before the pandemic, that nose ring. And now I'm going backwards in the Mandela land here. Okay, Land O'Lakes chick change. All right, let's see. Land O. That is an old one though. Lakes Logopedia. So what? I like. Maybe all of these are new to you, and like I've already. Not, I didn't, these were told to, not all of these did I discover. A lot of them were, other people found it. 20 people went over it, pointed out everything. And now I'm like the expert on the new changes that happened to me 3 years ago or 6 years ago that everybody else told me about. All right. So the Native American lady, that I might add, was drawn by a Native American to have her authentic outfit on by the very tribe that wears this outfit, I might add. The yellow sun. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. There has been a change, and the change for me, they're missing one. I'm pretty sure I still have it in on my other computer at home. Oh, okay. So a lot of people remember there was a yellow sun with rays coming up, golden sun rays shooting out. Okay. And weirdly, it hasn't been in Logopedia, and what showed up then in replace was just like kind of a white glow. And I think the surrounding area was kind of like sky colored, but now we've got this bumbly yellow, like the sun is down there somewhere, but that's not the sun because it's bumbly. This was not a logo option before. Like this with the sun. That was a sun, and now it's a bumbly yellow. So yeah, around 2018 that was never yellow. So the yellow sun kind of snuck back, but it's not the sun now. It's a bumbly area. And then the older ones had changed to this weird, looked like they dropped a nuclear bomb one. Yeah, so I think it was a bluish sky with a white, so it had changed to like a white glow with the blue sky. That was this one. So yeah, it's changed a bunch. Now these are recent changes. They took out the native girl because they were worried about wokeism, even though the actual tribe that girl comes from and her family are not happy at all about her being kicked off the logo, but they didn't want to deal with it. I can't really say as I blame them though, because most people just judge without asking. So okay, Land O'Lakes. Yeah, haven't even gotten to this one's Land O'Lakes. I used to buy that, but yeah, everything's so expensive. I went to like the store brand, and you know what, the store brand tastes exactly the same, and it's probably manufactured at the exact same butter plant. So anyone remember which guitar Michael J. Fox had in the beginning of Back to the Future? Nope, I'm not too good on that stuff. All right, let me put it at live chat so everything is on there. All right, so what? Michael J. Fox guitar, I think is where we're at. Michael J. Fox guitar, Back to the Future. All right, so I'm not an expert on Back to the Future. I mean, I've seen it, but not bajillions of times. So make sure that I'm on the right. There was an error processing my request. Let's try again. what, there's only 2. It does look kind of weird. Let me go to Google. All right, well, we definitely got some kind of red thing going on here. That looks like it's it. You know, you're right. I do. That does look weird. I'm not an expert on this, but I do remember a black and white one, and it wasn't so fat. Does that look right? You know, I just saw that scene not long ago, and what is it, like a few months ago? And I don't think it looked like that even then. So I would say, you know what? If that's the one we're talking about, that's the one where he plays the song that's from the future. And then he goes, oh, too soon. And because there's like a weird silence. Okay, so assuming we're talking about that. Red with a white pick guard. Okay, well, I don't know. Do you guys think it's the same one? Okay, yeah, I know the trick angels don't fall, but we don't. But that's not a Mandela, so we won't discuss that one here. This is a PG-13 show when possible. What about the terrorist attack on the terrorist vehicle? I know that people said that changed. I just wasn't really good on that one, that particular one. I was fascinated by the picture when I was little. So if you don't know what we're talking about, there's a way you can fold that that Native American girl to make her look salacious. There's like a folding that the boys probably did, and maybe that's part of why they took it off. But all I know is that the native tribe and family wanted her on there. So I mean, that would be kind of cool if one of your family was like this famous logo on this famous product. So I could see why they wouldn't like it. I kind of remember a white guitar. Yeah, I thought it was like white and black. I've never seen any photos of people entering the airship. Are you talking about how they go, like they dock on like a, I remember them going, like having a like a ladder thing that went to the ground, but apparently now they have these towers they dock on, and that, it's a couple years old at least for me, but I very, very clearly remember they used to just get on from the ground, and now apparently they don't. Marty McFly is playing a tiny yellow mini guitar in the opening scene. They go directly into the airship balloon part. That's what I remember, like they would enter on the side of the balloon, but now they don't enter from the ground anymore. That's the part that's changed for me. The Bible does say that the sun, moon, and stars are for determining seasons. Maybe eclipse seasons are part of that. I don't see. The thing is, though, that like right now they're not saying that there's any time in the year that has more eclipses. They're basically saying that when eclipses come, they come in batches. But they're not saying March is when there's lots of eclipses. So that's why I don't understand why it would be seasons. Now, if they do start saying it, and maybe they will soon by the way they labeled this, where they goes, March is when most eclipses happen or something. Now, I did notice, that it seems like, I think there's another one coming in 2025, but that might have been a lunar one. I've also noticed that they have not said when the next, like you don't easily find when the next solar eclipse is, and maybe because it's so shifty that they don't want to tell you right now. And then it'll be wrong later. I haven't really dug. I'm sure if I really dug, I could find it. I mean, it's got to be somewhere, right? But yeah, he's looking very gray, Darth Vader. I do remember, Vivian, I do remember the cod piece, but not from a while ago, not way back on Darth Vader. But I don't remember that indented additional patterning on said cod piece. That is new to me. So what's up with well, there's a couple of things I've heard interesting about the eclipse. One is apparently they're going to shoot some rockets up to like study the moon better or something. Like NASA shoot. Now apparently they shot up rockets last time, the end of last year during the eclipse. I had not heard anything about that, but they're doing that again this year. So it is in this timeline. Also, apparently they're starting CERN back up, and one of the phases of CERN, they're doing it in sections. Like they start, I don't know, it used to be you just start the thing. Now they're going to do this, then I don't know, CERN's gotten more complicated. So first they got to power up here, and then if that works, they power up there. And so one of the stages of power up will be on the eclipse. Now there was some stuff circulating and around that they're going to turn on CERN during the eclipse, but they're turning on apparently a part of CERN during the eclipse on that very day. So that's interesting. There is another rumor floating around about the red heifers and the Jewish red heifer sacrifice. Heifers are cows. That it would be on the eclipse. But then when I looked, I saw some rumor of it about it being on maybe Passover, which is later after like a week or two or something later in the month. And then somebody I just talked to today said he swears that he saw that they were supposed to do it already, like yesterday or something. And I'm like, I couldn't find that. All I know is some mumbling about Passover. I don't know if it's so shifty that it changes every 5 seconds. But if you remember the whole thing with the red heifers, going way back, I never heard of this thing, but there's this, how as much is it even in the Jewish tradition? But there's basically a belief of when the end times come, then they're going to sacrifice these, a red heifer, which is a cow that has never given birth. And that cow, the ashes are used to like consecrate the grounds for the third temple. Now it used to be the second temple for me when I was looking at this years ago, but now the second temple has come and gone long ago, and we're on the third temple. And the third temple will be in Jerusalem, and it's on a spot where there is now a Muslim mosque. And of course, those Muslims are not going to be smacking down their mosque for the Jewish tradition anytime soon, so it's all tricky. But the story there has really, really changed, because if you now look up the red heifers. So last time I looked up this, they were saying that they needed to find red heifers, and they might have found some in America, and that the red heifers could not have more than like, it was either 2 or 3 hairs of a different color. They had to be red. Now, the first time I looked up this whole red heifer story, the story was that there's no such thing as a red heifer, and so how are they going to do their tradition when that doesn't exist? And I'm like, well, and I was even saying, I'm like, the Mandela can make some red cows. Well, guess what? The Mandela did make some red cows, because then a few years later I'm looking at it and we have red cows. Okay, now the story, which has changed since last time I looked, is that the cows have to have 0 other colored hairs. They have to be 100% red hairs. There can't be any white hairs, can't be any black hairs. And the additional story for me that's new to me is that these cows could never have been leaned on, like, I don't know what you just lean on a cow, and could never have been yoked, like they could have never carried like a yoke. Well, it's not real common that you yoke a cow now, but I don't know what all exactly that means. Maybe they couldn't have had a rope on them or anything, but so that's a new thing to me. I talked to somebody earlier today, and he remembers the yoked thing. I mean, that's brand new to me. The last time I looked, so they have all these new rules. And the last time I looked, they were investigating cows in the U.S. for this. And now they have, in 2022, they took 5 red cows over to Israel, and they were deemed perfect, and they did not have even a single hair of non-red. And then now there's this new story that the cows have to be a certain age. So now 2 of the cows got too old, but 3 of the cows are still of the right age. And the rumor is that the rumor is really circulating. So the old story for me was it had to happen on this certain place in Jerusalem. But now the story is they could sacrifice the cows if it's in view of that place. And supposedly they bought land and they've prepared everything to do the sacrifice. They've got the cows and they have the land is in view of the place it needs to be. And so basically they could sacrifice the red heifers right now. And that's supposed to mark the beginning of the end times and the building of the third temple and this whole storyline. And like I said, that storyline keeps shifting for me. Okay, that's the color of the cows. The cow must be entirely one color. The hair must be absolutely straight. I've not heard of that one either. The cow has not been yoked. The extreme rarity of the animal. So supposedly they found these cows somewhere in Texas. Somebody had heard of red cows that were never yoked, etc., etc. And they passed the inspection. Well, they're not really saying what's going to happen, but let's see. The Temple Institute, dedicated to preparing the reconstruction of the third temple in Jerusalem, has been attempting to identify red heifer candidates. See, this is old. I checked this a couple days ago, and it did say that they had 3 of them, and they have passed the candidacy test, and they are in Israel somewhere in a hidden location. See, this whole thing where they were using technology to produce it. No, they have those. So this is, I'm going to double check, man. Red heifers. So, I don't know. This could happen any minute or not. Or the story will just shift, but I better find that thing where they say they have them. What are the red heifer cows doing in Israel? Here we go. Yes. See, there are... I think that's them. Israel has imported cows from Texas. Yeah, so that wiki one is old and out of dated, even in the current timeline. Reportedly, a massive altar is being prepared in Jerusalem for a ritual that dates back to the time of Moses. It sparked political tensions in the occupied West. These red heifers believed necessary. I think they just needed 1 originally. Are they going to sacrifice all 3? They were just hoping to find 1 cow before. The proposed location for this temple, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem's Old City, is also home of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Now, there's been a lot of yakking about the Al-Aqsa Mosque and tensions there for a while, like the last year. So it is kind of interesting timing. Islamic nations view cow slaughtering and potential temple construction as part of Israeli occupation. Okay. What is the red heifer sacrifice? The ashes were used to cleanse a person from ritual impurity. I thought it was to cleanse the location, actually. The red heifer is a symbol of purity. Was considered necessary for people to participate in religious activities, such as entering the temple in Jerusalem. It's, it's bizarre because it's really quite pagan, like you're killing animals and all this stuff. So, Israelis believe the preparation and sacrifice of a red heifer are prerequisites for the rebuilding of the third temple in Jerusalem, where today the Al-Aqsa Mosque stands. Well, the way things are going, I really wouldn't be surprised if they pushed this issue. If they do these cows, which apparently they can, it could be quite the mess. But like I said, there's a lot of Mandelas in there because I just don't remember. I remember that they couldn't have any of these colored hairs, and there's no mention of that, of non-red hairs. So yeah, apparently they brought him there like 2 years ago too. Pretty bizarre, because I've looked since then, and I don't remember them being there when I looked. All right, so Jacques was talking a little bit. Now, a lot of us have seen a lot of changes on, this is the Shiva statue in front of CERN. We just use the same statue every time. There's been a lot of changes to it, but most of them happened before. You know, there's less arms. Shiva's not blue anymore. Shiva's a guy now. One thing I've noticed lately, an old one also that, I keep calling her she. It's just she. I give up. It's a she. My brain says Shiva's a she. That she holds the flame. That was one of the older changes. I've noticed the hands have gotten, they look bigger to me now. I guess because it's a male now. But I feel like the hand is larger. And that little star thing in the hand has gotten more prominent. These purple blotches have gotten prominent. What I've noticed lately is there's like these bumbly things on the, I don't know what this is, like armband, and they're like floral, and they're on this one and this one. I would guess that there might be back on here too, but these floral bumbly things, I don't remember those last time I looked. I also feel like there's more, and there's always more, but there's more and more of these bands, and I don't remember there being like 5 bands right here and 5, like there's too many bands on this wrist. Okay, there weren't that many, there weren't 5. It's almost looking like it's looking like an accordion now. I mean, there's a point where I'm like, there's no way there was 5 of them. Now they've been slipping in one at a time, and it's hard to track all that, but I'm like, no. Also, like, I don't think that there was one of these on both feet. There's one here and one here. I think this is the older one. But now there's one here, and then this one like a bigger. Also, there is a toe ring now, and I'm pretty sure there was not a toe ring on there last time I looked. Also, there's a little like circle on here, like you would hook something to it, and I'm almost positive that there was not a little loop thing on the end of this one, which it's kind of weird because you don't really, you wear a necklace on your calf or something, but you wouldn't have like a loop on there. It's not like a dog leash or something. I think this one here also is new. Again, this little demon creature just very slowly has gotten just a little bit more detail and a little bit bigger and a little more detail over time. And then Jacques was asking about the shorts, because she was the one who was talking about this. Now, a lot of changes she sees are old for me, but she asked about the shorts. I do remember there being shorts for a while. Not originally, but for a while. But the difference I see now is that there's like a bunch of bumbly pattern on the shorts. It looks like there's like a little, I don't know, if this is a little pocket or a little ornament or something here. And this so before when I was seeing the shorts, they were much more plain than they are now. So it looks to me like there's definitely been like some upgrades to there. I'm looking at the end of this whip thing, and there's a couple little bumbles on the end there. Patterns, I don't know what it is, like a snake pattern or something, and I don't think that was on there. I'm a little suspicious of these little cross pieces, but I won't swear that that's changed. I'm not sure on that one. So yeah, more there has been change, not as rapidly as before with the changes, but there's definitely more. I'm really sure that there's way more of these wrist rings now, because it now looks kind of ridiculous. It's now reached the point where I'm like, come on, people. No. If the line if the line changes to Luke, I am your mother. Will be I am your mother and your father. Something like that. The neck chain is new. Let's see, the neck chain. Oh yeah, there does look like there's kind of a... Yeah, there does look like more going on over here. Well, there's a little... I don't know, was it that little snake was always right there, actually? This little one like this? But yeah, there does look like there's a bunch of chains coming. I agree with you here. That little snake. That little snake. I thought it was over on this side, not that side. There was a snake over here. It didn't look like that one. Something's off with the snakes. I feel like one is missing and this one is new. Like there's been a shuffling of the snakes. Lots of little details. Darth Vader changes to Darth Tater. I was always Tater. Tater for the Tartarians, right? Yeah, see, it's bizarre that Scarab just found it because that's such an old Mandela for me. Let's see. I bet if you look, there's going to be old. It just goes to show. See, part of it gets me is that, like, I'm sure that there was a version of Scarab that knew this. So, like, people knew it, and then suddenly there's a shift, and then that's a new version of them. They're like, oh my god, it just changed. I'm like, no, you knew about this, but it was a different you, I guess. Laughing Cow. Wait, I screwed that up. Laughing Cow Mandela. 50 new Mandela effect examples. See, this is 2017. Did the Laughing Cow have a nose ring? Yep. See, 2017. Yes, that's about right. One of the... Yeah, that might actually be even back a little longer than I remember. I thought it was a little later, more like 2018, 19. Did the Laughing Cow wear earrings? Yeah, so that's 2018. I do remember the earrings happening after the nose ring. So maybe. Another 2017 one. This is interesting because it seems like very clearly 2017 is saying, where's the nose ring? And then 2018 is like, what's up with the earrings? So like everybody noticed the nose ring, but never noticed the earrings. It really, if they were always there, that didn't make sense. So Shari, I'm a new you and you're a new me. Welcome to version 267L of Eva version or whatever. I don't know. Maybe we should all pick numbers and for ourselves and then say, okay, this is version blah blah blah. And notice this if it changes. I'm like version 444. That's going to be my version. 444. This is version 444 of Eva. Now, from my perspective, I'll always be version 444. Somebody did that on, what was it? Somewhere on Reddit, there's like a timeline jumpers subreddit, and they picked a number, and they go, this is the version of reality you're in. And I swear that number did change. And then everybody's like, no, it was this. No, it was that. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. I buy Stater Brothers butter. Yeah, so I used to buy Stater, but Stater Brothers, the one in my town has closed. So... And I don't, the one in the neighboring town doesn't even seem to be doing that good. So Stater used to be packed with people. Like, it was like you have to kick your way in, and it has been dead since the end of the pandemic. I don't know what's going on. Part of it might be that there's been a couple of new groceries that opened in the area. So maybe that's hurt them, but So I went to the one in the town next door. Even that one doesn't seem that busy, which kind of worries me. Yeah, see, that's not how I remember. Oh, okay. So I remember them coming in on the body over here, and they would come up from the ground. So I don't remember them coming over here on the nose cone. I actually don't remember 10 million little hole circles on the nose cone either. So that's been kind of a thing for a while now, though, with these tower things. But white guard. Yeah, so I thought it was white and black when he was jumping around on stage singing the songs from the future from their perspective. See, now the problem is that I won't be able to remember everybody's version. I mean, like, there's going to be all these numbers and stuff. So I have to apologize in advance. There's no way I can remember 10 people's versions. We were all saying it's not a bull. Why does it have a nose ring? Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't think I ever thought about it that hard in the old timeline. I think it's bull. So they put the nose ring in there to control the animal. And I think they usually would do it with bulls just because bulls are harder to control. Cows are pretty mellow yellow, so you don't really need to stick a ring in there. And so I guess I would have assumed that in the old days that it's just, a stereotype and people didn't think it too hard when some 18-year-old was drawing up a cartoon image, but so, my personality across timelines does not seem to change that much. There's only a few things that change and I can feel it sometimes too, is my propensity to swear will shift around, and I'll just have an urge to swear a lot, and then I'm currently in the non-swearing version. That's one thing that changes about me. And then what Mandelas I see, that's the obvious one, like my memories. But I'm not as easy to tell as some people, apparently, from what people are telling me. Because, like, some people I know, they shift and their personality changes either drastically or at least enough that I can tell. Like, maybe they argue more, or maybe they're more flighty or something like that. Another strange fruit from the parallel universe. I kind of wonder if this last one wasn't some kind of big old hog butt shift, though, because I just know a lot of people that were really sick. And I kind of suspect that... What is that thing? That's bizarre. What is it? Answer. They call it the miracle fruit. Calabash. Calabash. What does it taste like? I think we had this one on. Didn't we have this one on the other day? Now that one's all mushy, though. That looks like a different thing. Red bananas. Okay, calabash. Calabash. Well, bottle gourd, white flowered gourd, long melon, birdhouse gourd. Opo squash is a vine grown for its fruit. That's a vine? That's a pretty big dang fruit for a vine. All right. Well, I guess watermelon's a vine too. Harvested, mature, or to be dried as a gourd. Okay, now that's interesting because gourds I've known before, they didn't have edible fruit option to them. They were just, gourds and that's it. The gourd was one of the world's first cultivated plants, grown not primarily for food, but for containers. Yeah, because you couldn't eat them. History, cultivation. Well, what's it taste like? Like other members of the Cucurbitaceae, gourd contains cucurbitaceans that are known to be cytotoxic at high concentration. The tetracyclic triterpenoid Kubitachins. I feel like I'm talking mumbo jumbo. President fruits and vegetables of the cucumber family are responsible for the bitter taste and could cause stomach ulcers. Cucumber family. So, I mean, like, so do regular cucumbers cause stomach ulcers? I've never heard of that. People have died from drinking the juice of gourds. The toxic cases are usually due to the gourd being used to make juice, which the drinkers describe as unusually bitter. 3 of the cases were diabetics, older people. The plant is not normally toxic when eaten. Excessively bitter gourds are due to improper storage and over-ripening. Okay. So, I know it looks kind of tasty, but it's got, a lot of these new ones have a weird texture to them. Like, when you think of a fruit, they're like juicy and they have seeds and they look like a fruit, right? Like a watermelon, okay? But these things, they're kind of like white and pasty looking and they don't have juice oozing out. It's like they're more like substantial. Mildly flavored with hints of sweetness, similar to vegetables in the summer squash family. The texture is firm and easy to cut through like cucumber flesh, but less juicy. Some calabash fruits may contain curcubitachins, toxins that give them a better taste. It is recommended to avoid eating bitter calabash due to health concerns, so stick to the subtly sweet ones. Also, I would assume then that the storyline is going to be that they carefully bred them to taste better, and that got rid of the cucurbitachins. Who came up with these names? Okay, so they're mildly sweet, and they're huge, and they have carbohydrate. So it's like, it's like these fruits were getting more substantial so you could eat these and not be hungry or something. And they're huge. They're huge. I mean, watermelons used to be like the big fruit, and then now they're not even a big deal anymore. It's kind of cool. I mean, if we could just like grow fruits on vines and live on them. It's been 982 for me for ages. I took it about that dimension jumpers on Reddit. I'll have to check that. I haven't checked in a while. I did think it shifted like years ago. And that whole subreddit was weird because then they kind of shut down for no reason. And then they said they were going to redo it. And then they never did. And then it's like, really wasn't anything wrong with it to start with. Just let it run. But then, and then somehow it got started again. And I don't know. Like months, like a year later, somebody else restarted it. I saw, that fruit guy I just clicked on, I saw him like last month though. It's like suddenly YouTube is like giving me that or Google is or bitter gourds are used here too. I bought them and they taste like venom. You mean like venom, I assume, like poison, right? Slipknot fruit causes one to get psychosocial. Psychosocial. Do you mean like psychopathic? Because psychosocial actually sounds like you're excessively social. Let's see. Anu. Not going to hear anyone out. Wait. Did we have this on before? I might have heard this one. All right, let's jump. Yes. Okay, that thing was on. That was on like a couple weeks ago. It was, what was that? It was some kind of, it wasn't this, I don't think. It was some kind of like, one of those deep sea flat creatures, like a sponge. It was a sponge. It was a sponge. But I think what was weird was that those exist like in freshwater now. But yeah, that very one I had on, because that went viral, that video. Dimension jumping. Okay. Yes, it was dimension jumping. I do think 982 has been that way for a while. But at some point I did not, I think it was like 986, like way back. Psychosocial is a Slipknot. Oh, okay. I don't know. Spearmint plants are used. So yeah, spearmint apparently really helps out if, was it spearmint? Oh, it was one of them mints. Menthol, the one that does menthol. Apparently menthol really, really helps if you have stomach problems. I've had a couple people try it for stomach problems, and it was really, really, really helpful. So definitely worth a shot. And it's not real expensive. So it's that natural menthol that comes from what mint source? The real thing, not like the fake stuff, but the plant that makes menthol. Now I can't remember the name of it. So it's been an hour and I haven't really covered very much. Okay, so this one came from user ZX8SI1ZY5E. Found this one. So another weird thing that looks like something else, and this is what's it called? The green flower plant from Australia. So there's a flower that looks like a bird. Pretty styling. It's not new or anything, and it's cool. So yeah, it looks like, I kind of feel like, is this really a good idea to have to be a flower that looks like a bird? Because you're trying to attract insects. Do you want to look like a bird when you're trying to attract insects when birds eat insects? So it seemed like it would be a bad plan to look like a bird, but here's where we're at. They look like birds. I mean, they got the beak and everything. It's ridiculous. Maybe they look less birdy in their natural state. I don't know. But, I mean, if you were an insect and you saw like a flock of birds, would you be eager to go over there? You'd think that like deep inside that would be the bad plan. But there you go. Yeah, shocking. Australia grew horns. So for me, like, it didn't have that weird dent at the top and the horns, and but then, I mean, all of the areas look so different now. Even the United States is weird. I remember Australia right next to Easter Island, way out in the Pacific. I don't remember it even near Easter Island, but way out in the Pacific. So I was doing Google Earth the other day, and I figured out how to get rid of those irritating clouds. I almost did want to swear right there because I really hated those clouds. I figured out how to get rid of them, and it really kind of brought home to me because way, way back, I remember if you looked at like a globe, you could see most of North and South America all on the same view. Like now, you could only see one, and the other is way around the globe. So when you look at it that way, I think the Earth has to be way smaller, like half size, because you can really only see like one of them at a time now. And we feel that a lot of areas have actually shrunk as far as miles and time to travel and stuff too. Of course, then if time speeded up, I don't know, it gets so confusing. But by going by that, it looks to me like the Earth is maybe like half sized because like 60% or something, because you really can only see one continent at a time and you used to be able to see two. And that kind of brought it home to me how much smaller it would have to be. I mean, unless the continents got big and hogged up more ocean space, but it doesn't seem like that because people are reporting shorter travel times. Almost everywhere, the only place I've heard of any longer travel times has been in Russia, where they said certain distances did seem longer travel times. But Russia's gotten really large, so... I mean, yeah, I know it's CGI, but whatever. It's still changed. What am I going to say? I mean, I've seen changes around. I've seen shorter travel times. I've seen the shapes of roads changing. So I know it really does change. So I could say, well, it really did change, but Google's lying, or I can just go, yes, Google is reflecting the changes. I suspect that it is the latter. I mean, you got to realize I'm kind of a simulation theory person anyway, so it kind of doesn't really matter. Toronto, Dubai is now over 14 hours direct fly. I don't know, is that shorter or longer? I did not know the flight time to Dubai. Yeah, so, I mean, like, because I'm over here that I kind of really noticed Canada and the U.S. changing. Canada has changed so much. So, a lot of this stuff, not flag, map. Kind of a lot of this stuff you're noticing is kind of old stuff for me. So, like, these horns on the top here, I don't remember these. This dent here has gotten, like, deeper. And I think this is Tasmania, right? This island is huge now. It's ridiculous. I think it really was originally like just a nub off of Australia, frankly. And then at some point it was an island. Now there's like other little islands around it. This thing here, this gouge, like right here. I don't remember this. Yeah, you're kind of right. What is this line here? What is that, like a river or something? I don't think I've seen that. I think it's a river. Okay. So you can kind of see here. Wait. Boink. See, like this coming up. I have a feeling we're going to get this splitting up. So I don't remember this little dent here. I talked about that before, but it looks bigger than last time. And it looks like these are going to connect up. So every country is getting like these... indents of river and ocean spaces and these protected areas. So this Gulf of Carpinteria just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and the horns get bigger and bigger, and now you've got something coming up from the bottom. I think eventually there's going to be some kind of a... It looks like these things end up connecting. Oh, they head towards each other. So I'm seeing that in Australia too. I'm seeing it all over. So wouldn't be surprised if we had more... Get more islands. I kind of feel like this whole thing actually should be flipped over with no horns, and that would be closer to the old shape. But this needs to be a little flatter in here. For the outer shape, that's what I remember. You know what? There's so much going on in Dubai. I know. I just had Dubai on. Like, I just had it on a couple weeks ago, and then a couple months before that. Dubai and those palm frond things are always changing. And the Palm Islands are, you know, they were abandoned in the 80s and never finished, like just a couple years ago. And before that, I never even heard of them. And now, like, one is done and one is half done. And now there's even the world one has some stuff on it. No big water bodies inside Australia. I don't remember those being in there. I mean, maybe they were, like, really tiny and didn't show on the map. Those pointy things on the Shiva loops. I'm not sure what pointy things you mean. Yeah, you're right, actually. It was pretty rectangular before, but it's gotten bigger and bigger, and I guess the bigger it gets, the more obvious. What the hell is Kangaroo Island? Yes! When did that one show up? A couple years ago? 2 years ago? I'm like, Kangaroo Island. You know, it's hard to track time because it feels like a year ago, but then I have to remember that 1 year is like 2 years. It's just like... All right, so let's see. What are we doing here? Okay, so this one, Jackie, you found this one. So we've had those, we've had skunks walking on the front legs. And they were kind of doing it to spray. So their thing was like, I'm going to get my, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But apparently they like hike their butt up and walk on their front legs in order to spray their stinky. But now apparently raccoons do it for like no reason whatsoever. So this thing has gone viral. And I'm really suspicious that this is just bull. But these skunks now, I mean these raccoons, I've never heard of this. This is ridiculous. They just walk on like their front legs for a while. Like that doesn't look comfortable at all. But they just go, oh, I think I'm going to walk on my front legs. So let's just go. That's like ridiculous. This is absolute clown world. All right. This is ridiculous. So I kind of looked it up, and it was weird because Google would have links to sites that describe this, and it would say, well, raccoons sometimes walk on their front legs in order to get through tight areas. Or I'm like, how is walking on your front leg going to help you get through a tight area? Your butt did not get any smaller, and it's going to be harder to squeeze with only 2 legs on the ground. I mean, there is no logic behind it. There was nothing. But then when I clicked on it, when I clicked on this link, it led to like a 404 site not found. So I couldn't even get any info out of it. But it's like, it's ridiculous. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever for these beasts to suddenly just go, I'm going to walk on 2 legs. Why not? I mean, like, so they're just saying they do this. They don't have back leg damage. They're not paralyzed. They just do. So this person got it on home surveillance. And then she's like, what? But then I went back and looked, and there's like, so this video is from like 16 years ago. Raccoon walking on front legs. They just do it now. But yet there's not, the links to it are kind of, I don't know, weird. But like, why would you do this? Why is this fun? That looks like a whole bunch of work for nothing. It's clown world. It makes no sense at all. 11 years ago, I saw this happen tonight. I was so confuddled. Didn't know what to do with myself, so I just started laughing hysterically while riding my bike down the street alone. Now, 4 years ago, I just saw this happen and Googled raccoon walking on hands, as I thought I was losing my mind. Thank you for this video. 7 years ago, I saw something like happen like this a couple mornings ago. Why is it that everybody who's commenting just saw it happen in real life the last week? Nobody said, oh, I saw this 6 years ago. I saw this as a child. Oh, didn't you know? This is actually kind of weird because usually you do get a whole bunch of comments going, oh, yeah, didn't you know they do that? Yet they're all from different years. I saw a raccoon do this last night. I told my wife and she thought I hallucinated it. Vindicated. Well, I guess all these people saw it for the first time and then only found this video from 16 years. I don't know. But anyway, it's viral now. What more can I say? Kind of fits with the skunks. It does not. It looks like a heck of a lot of work, but yet they're like, I'm like, they must have some massive, powerful stomach muscles in this timeline. So So the dogs, I have seen a couple of images from the 90s of like small dogs doing it in order to pee. But they did look very like it was difficult, and they were only small dogs. They were kind of like clumbling around, and that was totally bizarre at the time. But I guess that was the opening volley to get you used to the idea that it was possible. The central part used to be a desert, but now there are so many. I do remember the whole interior. They always said it was a desert. The interior of Australia is a desert. That's why nobody lives there. I mean, if you got big fat rivers and stuff, wouldn't people all just pack on along the rivers? I don't know. I think we're going to get that. You know, one of the things I really noticed is just how greening up the Nile is. Because it used to be that it was just like the river, and then right next to it was sand. I mean, there was like nothing. But now if you look on Google Earth, it's just so greened up now. It could be that they've like really upped their game when it comes to croplands, but even if you look at the old ones, it apparently never was that way now. Have you seen Lake Magic in Australia? Lake Magic. I don't think I've seen Lake Magic. Australia. Is that going to be a pink one? All you need to know before you go. Australia's floating salt lake. What? No. Wait a minute now. Wait. Floating salt lake. Okay, so you can float in it, I think is. Oh, it has this thing too. That thing showed up, what, like 6 or 7 years ago? Okay, so it's very salty, and you float, I think. Of course, you have the pretty colors that didn't used to exist. Everyone bangs on about Western Australia's beaches, but for good reason. They're some of the best. Let's see. Lake Magic is a strange little body of water, naturally coating Salt Lake with gypsum minerals. Circular beach surrounding it. High salt density of the water, making it impossible to sink. It's the changing colors of the lake over the course of the day that makes it real special. From sunrise to sunset, you'll be privy to some incredible views. All right, the changing colors, but it doesn't say what the changing colors are. Okay, so it's so salty you can't sink. Now, that's interesting because I have heard of salty lakes where you have more buoyancy. I'm not sure if I've heard ones where you absolutely could not sink. Let's see if we can find some of the colors. Changes colors. Lake Magic. Hide in Australia. I'm kind of like, which is the lake? Was it that little lake, or is it this big lake? Lake Magic map. It's so... doesn't it look like a person or something? There's like a head and an arm, some chest material, and 2 legs. I don't know. It's kind of confusing though. Which one is the lake? Okay, Lake Magic Kate. Okay, so now it's yellow. Now it says it changed color through the day. I mean, I kind of have a hard time accepting that it changed to yellow and then it was blue at a different time of day. That's when you get the spectacle of changing colors at sunrise or sunset. Significant gypsum deposits at the bottom make the lake considerably more reflective than most, and the color changes with the changing sky. For much of the day, a brilliant turquoise or blue color, but it takes on different colors as the sun rises and sets. But of course, it's in the middle of the nowhere. 4 hours from Perth. So you want to get there dusk or dawn, you need to drive in the dark or stay overnight. Okay, so it's yellow. But at sunset, shouldn't it turn red? There's not really good explanation of this now. And this doesn't look like it's sunset. So are they going to say that there's like color changing bacteria also going on? Okay, it's... See, now this one... Looks kind of yellow on the edges and green in the middle. So it's just this little thing, or is it the big thing? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. It's yellow here and it's green there. Is it this one that's changing colors and this one changes by other reasons? So this is a weird kind of confuser. First of all, I've never heard of lake magic. I'm going to write this down because I have a feeling that this is... This is very shifty looking. This one changes colors, yet we see that this one changes colors. Nobody's talking about this one changing colors. This one seems to have a circle in the middle of it that sometimes shows and sometimes doesn't. See, it looks like a little circle island here, but in other images... This one better not also be rainbow lakes. Okay, rainbow lakes. So we're just going to get a whole bunch of different colored lakes. You did get the pink lakes. This is interesting because here this looks lower, so the water's lower, so you could get a middle island. So rainbow lakes. It's all right. Now we have this image. Is this completely dried up yet this is not? Or is this white? It kind of looks like it's dried up, but yet... If this one's dried up, how come this one is not? It's only a little bit low. Some weird stuff going on here. I can't even sort this out. Let me see if Wiki will help at all. All Trails Perth. Wiki. Rob Lake is American. Nope. It may not even have a wiki. Magic Mountain. Nope. Lake Eyre. That does not appear to be it. Lake Magic. You know, it does not look like it even has a wiki. This might be like hot off the presses. You can't sink in Salt Lake or in Northern Ireland. So I remember the Dead Sea, they said it was hard to sink. I don't think I remember them saying you couldn't sink. I wouldn't swear on that, though. Ah, okay, so all the stuff I found on my own, you guys are commenting on. So is it white or is it dried up? I don't know. And there's just like not really any explanation to the photos. The yellow one is not Lake Magic. What is the yellow one called? Okay, so that one's next to Lake Magic. But yet it changes color too, but we're not calling it color changing. So they're way out there. You have to stay at the hotel if you want to see it, apparently. All right, so we got yummy calabash snackums. Calabash fruit. Actually, that fruit kind of sounds good. It's almost like a, you know, it's kind of like a potato, half fruit. It's like sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's huge. It's not super juicy. Okay, so what's the thumbnail? The thumbnail, I think that was that another one Jackie found? She found a bunch of them. But no, that was Bill. Bill found that. Somebody I know named Bill who I was chit-chatting with. Also, check your area for star forts because they're showing up all over. A bunch of people I know who, like, I looked in their area and they have star forts that they did not think they had. Like 2 people now. I actually looked around here and the closest one I found was quite a ways off in Northern Cali, but I think we'll get them. And if you have a lot of forts in the area, you almost for sure one of them is going to be a star fort. Okay, so Bill found this one, Barbie pig. Apparently they found all these new species, and one of them was this pink sea pig. Now, we've had sea pigs on before. All right, now that's not a real one there, but this also is a sea pig, if you can see it over here. And I don't recall them being that creepy looking. It looks like it's huge too, but more along the lines of looking like this was how we usually. But now they have like a pink one, which is the new one, and that's the thumbnail. And they nicknamed it Barbie because it's pink. Okay, so it's this guy here. There's not very many images of it. And they're a member of the Amperina sea pigs, recently discovered. The article was like 2024. So they just keep getting weirder because, first of all, there was just like one, and now we have all these different ones. And they get more and more of these feet. It's some kind of weird drug dream or something, where they have feet with tentacles, with mouths on the bottom, with, I mean, like, everything. The rules are all off, man. They're all off. So there's another pink one. But it seems like each one that shows up is going to be, like, stranger than the one before. Like, I don't remember this one with this head. And there's an invisible one. Oh, wait, no, this is the article, actually. These are the new species they found. They found a unicumber, which is a sea cucumber that's clear, because everything has a clear version now. You can only see the intestines. And so for some reason. And then they found rat-tailed fish. Not the weirdest, but this you know, it's weird because this is not what I was being told was the Barbie pig by other websites, so I think they might have screwed that up. This is, I believe, the one. But then again, that one is not that different from that one. Yeah, this one is pink. See, and it's like, it's got tentacles. It's all tentacles. It's got a fat tentacle with tentacles coming off with mouths and more tentacles. I mean, like, somebody's been watching way too much anime or something. Even the anime stuff's not this weird. Okay, so that's that thing. What the heck is that thing? Deep sea mining hotspot. Teams with mystery animals. I haven't seen that thing. What is this? I don't know. I have not seen that yet. That one is weird too. Wait, what is that? Okay, I think we had those on. That's one of those weird jellyfish, but it didn't used to be that bright before. Okay, so yes, it's endlessly weird. It's very hard to keep up with the creatures. Gold guppy. Let's see, gold guppy. Oh, that's so cute. It looks like goldfish, though. Is that a guppy? They're kind of fat. So they look like actual gold. A pair of gold guppy fish. That is gold guppy fish. I want one. Those are awesome. Because they're like metallic gold. They're not just yellow. So this is just typical for new things that show. What the heck is that? Oh, these are some really weird, creepy goldfish, I think. I'm pretty sure those are some really weird, creepy goldfish. So they've been getting creepier. They've just, I don't know, somehow they had bred something with goldfish with a weird brain bump of, and I thought they were weird back then, Mom. Like, now they just, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. But yeah, that's awesome. But see, nobody knows what it is. There's no way to check. These puppy goldfishes. They're precious and beautiful, and set them free. They're probably domesticated. Literal goldfish. Shiny Magikarp. Yep, there's our Pokemon creatures. They're literally goldfish that are gold. I should have seen that coming. Now that you mention it, goldfish will be gold. Pelican eels. Let's see. I think I've seen those pelican eels. Let me just look. They have the huge mouths. Those, I believe, have been on. The only thing I would say about these is that every time I look, the mouth is bigger. I've had these on. I do not believe that the mouth was this big last time I looked. They were not that big. I mean, like, how much is this going to be a thing? Yeah, they weren't. They just. How far is this going? I mean, this is like going to swallow the sun or something. Come on, people. It's just a mouth with a tail. Like a little rat tail. Gulper eels, but look, the mouth is way bigger. So it was a long time ago. It was a long time ago that I had those on. And their mouths weren't that big. But gulper eel. I don't remember them being called pelican eels. I do remember them being called gulper eels. Horseshoe crabs. Yeah, when did those show up for me? Like 10 years ago suddenly? Those are so cute, though, those gold guppies. All right, so where are we? Actual goldfish. I guess it makes sense because we had those beautiful, shiny, I don't know what, the long, skinny fish that we had on a few months ago that were just like chrome silver colored. Beautiful. Beautiful things. All right, so let's see. So we got Barbie Pig, and Unicumber found by that. And then the last one I ran into when I was looking up those was... just keep scrolling and I'll find weirder things. We've had these on before, but I thought there was only one kind, and now there's like 3. And this is a super, super tiny deer. They're like, they were like, what, 15 pounds or something? 15 to 20 pounds deer. So they found a new kind of these called Pudella carli. All right, let's find a photo, shall we? And these have just been found, and I believe it is these, because they weren't weird enough already that we had to have a weirder one. And these are like a 15 to 20 pound deer. They have hooves and everything, and they're the size of like a Jack Russell Terrier, which is a small terrier dog. They said they stand under 17 inches tall. And now this new one, Pudella carli, or however you say it, is even weirder looking than the old ones. These are the older ones here. I think that might be the one I saw before. But it's confusing because I thought there was only one kind, and there's 3 now. I think it's these 3. And they all have these little gooby horns on them. This is weird because I thought one of them didn't have the horns when I was looking the other day, but now they all do. And one of them is like Mephistopheles. I think Mephistopheles is the one that I saw before. But they all look weirder than I remember them now. I mean, that guy looks like he has a mustache. I mean, what's going on here with the snout? And then these bumps. I'm assuming those are the horns, but they still have the fuzzy growth. What's going on there? In the eyes. So it's getting weird. And I thought they were kind of plain colored. And now they've got all these weird colors. I thought it was more like this was like brown without the face. So there's 3 of them now. Pudellas. Identificación nueva especie de... A new species of poodoo in America. Okay, so anyway, yeah. They're like little dogs sized. Just tiny. And those are all Bill. So Pudella's Bill, Unicumber, and Barbie Pig. Okay. Raccoons walking on front legs was Jackie. Alright, I'm just going to do Starforts. I think Starforts have... I say this all the time, but every time I look, they're more fancier. Oh, look at that one. It looks like, this Starfort looks like a cartoon character. This one was so styling. So, oh, actually, maybe that's not a real one. Now I'm not even sure. It probably will be a real one. Well, actually, it might be this one. This one has the higher walls and the circle in it. So it's like growing more and more petals. So there's like a petal here, here, another one here. It's kind of reminds me when I used to doodle. I would draw like, you know, a triangle, and then I would draw petals off that, and then more petals, and then like, yeah, these are like my old doodles. Look at that one. I mean, seriously, when they first came in, you just had these little petals, and then maybe a moat, and then you got another one. I mean, come on. There's a point where it's ridiculous, especially considering the thing in the middle is so tiny. So I'm seeing these taller ones now, like a lot taller. Look at that one's 3 stories high. Belgard Castle. This one has some weird circle things. I guess they're like some kind of towers. Oh, that's kind of interesting because actually when you get technical, the Pentagon is not that far off from that shape, is it? You look at the Pentagon, and then you look at like this one. So anyway, I was just kind of glancing through these, and there's just so many now, and so many styles. Just more and more and more. One little tiny island, and it's got a Starfort on it. So there's that. Oh, and the other thing was they're calling them bastion forts. Bastion. B-A-S-T-I-O-N forts. I don't recall them being called bastion forts before, but that is now a term for them. Most of these I don't think I've seen. Oh, look at that one. Oh, that one is so cool. It's got like a cross in the middle. Where is that thing at? Palma Nova, Italy. Manjarabad Fort. Look at that. Okay, so this one looks like there's a bunch of like little doors and stuff. So the main structure would be under here. So it looks like it all fell down, but actually that is the building, I think. Fort McHenry, Maryland. Oh, look, little floating petals out here. Fort Ontario. Goryokaku Park. So Japan has them. So yeah, every country's got them now, I guess. Right, got that. So I did want to say there was this weird little story that happened to me that the front part of my notes, I had started these notes, I don't know, a few months ago, and then I somehow didn't use this paper, and I started on another paper, and this one did not get used. And at one point I had looked up cornucopia, and it said on the wiki that cornucopia was a goat horn. And I looked everywhere, and it said it's a goat horn. And so I remember it as a spiral basket, right? And I don't remember it being a goat horn. And everywhere said it was a goat horn. So then, like, a couple months later, I find this paper with a couple Mandelas on it. And I'm like, okay, well, let me just check. I guess, I don't know, was it psychic powers that it had changed or something? But I checked, and it did not say it was a goat horn anymore. It said, like, it's spiraled like a goat horn. So, like, for a little while before I got sick, apparently I was in the cornucopia goat horn timeline. I'm going to just check it again and just to make sure, but cornucopia. And I was freaking out because I knew it wasn't a goat horn, but we're back to not being a goat horn. Cornu, horn, and a horn of abundance, but it's not specifically a goat horn now. I don't think baskets or panniers of this form was traditionally used. Horn-shaped basket. Okay, so it's a little bit in between now, but see, there's still, well, interesting. There's still a lot of images of it being like horn, but so it seems like it's kind of this is interesting because there is a lot of horn stuff, but it specifically said it's a goat horn before, and it is not saying that now. The Nephilim dropped their cookie cutters. Yeah. Will Easter Island get one? Oh my God, that would be crazy. I've got to check now. Just in case. Easter Island Star Fort. I'll freak out. Oh, that would be crazy. Star Fort. Is there a... See, it's called a Bastion Fort. Now, I've never heard of it Bastion Fort until today. All right, there's one on Malta. Fort St. Michael. Fort St. Elmo. 30 epic things to do in Easter Island. Ooh, I'm just going to check it. Just in case. I don't think there's going to be a star fort, but... Swim, scuba, stargaze, right, surfing. I mean, keep in mind that now there's a whole civilization that never left. Visit the quarry. Birdman competition. So that's the traditional dance because the people never died out. Wait a minute. All right. Those horses better not be native. There's a huge number of horses that wander freely. There's really a lot of them. Horseback riding is popular on Rapa Nui. Horse riding in Easter Island is fun. Horses all over now, huh? Get a tattoo? I don't think so. Search for ancient petroglyphs. Swim with turtles. Admire the volcanic crater at Rano Kau. Easter Island has 3 volcanoes that form a unique ecosystem. I've never heard of this. Check that out. I wonder if there's fresh water in there. The only moais facing the ocean at Ahu Akivi. So I remember them all facing the ocean originally, all of them. This showed up not long ago for me, but it's of course ancient. Is the puzzle piece style wall building. Oh, I've not seen this. This particular rock is not native to Easter Island, meaning someone must have brought it a long way. Find the navel of the world at Te Pito Kura. Easter Island is known to locals as the navel of the world because of the volcanic style of the island and its isolated position. And its unique rocks found at Te Pito Kura. Alright, so... Okay, that's new. I've not seen that before. Alright, so that's a bunch of those weird hats, top knots, pukaos, minus, I guess, the head that they go on. Botanical gardens. Okay, well, I did learn a few things on there. Star Fort seen by satellites. They look like from space. Yep, these are some nice images, definitely. So you can kind of see this sneaking in there. You could almost live in there, and maybe you wouldn't notice that a few angles changed over here, and next thing you know, you're living in a star fort. Varduzno. So this one was in where? Okay, Saint Martin. I think we had that one on. It sounds familiar. Well, it doesn't look familiar. Norway, Portugal. Yeah, this is interesting. They have all these cutouts, but there's no water visible now. Was there once water? Little bitty one. Slovakia. France. Slovakia again right here. Denmark. They're usually along the rivers. So if you have a big river and forts in your area, I suggest you check for star forts, because it's almost like you can almost bet if you have a lot of forts and you have a river, you got a star fort now. Italy, Malta, Serbia. So it's interesting, even Japan had these things. I mean, like, so everybody just knew this tech now. This tech that I didn't even have. All right. This one's kind of confusing. Finland. Now I do see some like cutouts here, like some pointies. There's some weird pointies over here, But this one's kind of bizarre. Maybe a lot of it is gone now. The Netherlands. It's like how many flavors? Okay. Everybody's going to get their own private island with a star fort on it at this rate. Vivian's thinking the same thing. That's funny. I just thought of it on my own, and then I read this. There it is. So maybe you will get it. Think positive. Think good thoughts. You'll get your own private star fort with an island. All right. All right. This one was from Mark Tias, but I actually don't remember what it was. Persian carpet flower. Mark Tias's thing from months ago. Okay, so oh, okay. I just don't remember like this. This is almost like a joke because it's just this little tiny plant and then this giant flower. It really looks like Feed Me Seymour, you know, like that movie. So Persian carpet flower, I guess it looks like a Persian carpet. That's why it's that. But this is a tiny little plant and that giant flower. It's ridiculous. So I used to have a lot of cactus and succulents, and I was in the club, and I just don't remember these with these giant yellow pointy things, and like, I don't think so. So yeah, okay. All right, this one I saw on Quantum of Conscious, and it's just bizarre, so I'm covering it. It's not really a Mandela, but I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. How would you even know? So the story here is that 50 years ago, some dude decided to make the world's largest art, and they did it in the middle of the desert in Nevada. I guess I better put art in there. And it cost like how many stupid millions of dollars? I saw some estimates at 25 million. I've also seen estimates at 40 million to build this thing. I think that's early stages of it. It's a 1/2 mile wide and 1.5 miles long. And I got the impression that there might be some structures like underneath these mounds of whatever. It's supposed to be an art project. Somehow, so 50 years, and they just opened it like a couple years ago. It's called The City. It's in Nevada. And it's 160 miles north of Las Vegas in a secret location that they don't tell you where it is, okay? It's a secret location. And the artist, which is this old guy now who dresses like a cowboy, so it's sort of weird. He only wants 6 people a day to be able to visit his $40 million project. So only 70 days out of the year or something, they will bring 6 people. And in order to go, and I don't think I'd go because they blindfold you and drive you out to the location, only 6 people at a time. And so you don't know where it's at. And then, I don't know, it just seems like I wouldn't do it. I'm too much of a conspiracy theorist to do that. But have you ever even heard of this ridiculous thing? I mean, how do you get permits to do this? Where do you get your $40 million over 50 years to make this thing? And I mean, like, and you're not allowed to take photos or anything, by the way. No photos allowed. Oh, no. So nobody really knows. I think they released these photos so you can kind of, I guess you have to show something or no one's going to go visit. It wasn't really expensive to go visit it, though. So I don't know, like, how they're getting money to upkeep it, because it's like $150 or something to go visit. This is art. I don't get it. I don't get it. Where do you get the $40 million from? I mean, is it some kind of money laundering? I read about this art building in Nevada last week. Yeah, so it's probably getting viral. So Quantum of Conscious channel covered it. Not as a Mandela. And I'm not saying it's a Mandela, but it is pretty darn strange. Yeah, Matt covered it. And that's how I heard about it. He just covered it as being weird. Vegas has moved a huge distance. Oh, I would not be surprised at all. I don't know Vegas that well, but I know a lot of cities have moved around in Cali. They destroyed the Georgia Guidestones, but now we have the city. Who would have gone? I know. But then like $40 million, and then you're not allowed to take pictures, and then like, I don't know, like, I'm gonna be blindfolded for. It's 150 miles. I mean, like, how long do you gotta wear that blindfold? Like, 2 hours or what? I don't. Something's weird. Like it, I don't get it. So yeah, that's where money goes now. It's weird because they're like, oh, we made this out of natural, gravel, and I'm like, what about all this cement and stuff, guys? I don't get it. It's just sign of the times. This is art, and raccoons walk on their front legs for no reason, and fish crawl across the desert, and this is life in the new world. Okay, well, I think I have time for one more. There's another one by Jacques. Actually, I've got a whole bunch by Jacques. I'll never get to all of them, but I got some of them written down, and then some of them I haven't. The last 2 days worth I haven't gotten to yet, and whoever's commented the last 2 days, sorry, but I am a little caught up. At least I'm not like 12 days behind. Okay, so this one, Jacques had talked about this, but then somehow I had it written down too, and I'm like, did I get it from Jacques the first time? Now I'm a little confused, but. Basically, the eye... I've had this on before. The Eye of Horus. Keeps changing. But now there's Eye of Ra, too. Okay, so... I'm actually trying to figure out when the eyebrow came on. Because I don't think I had the eyebrow going way back. But it's been there a while. Alright. And then last time I was talking about that tear thing, that if you remember way back, it looks like it got longer too, and got the bump, whatever the heck that is. And now weirdly they're saying, oh, it mirrors like the human brain pattern, or all, I don't know. Yeah, okay, but now they've got that shows up. Just like I'm not sure on this eyebrow thing. Somehow the eyebrow thing just looks off. I thought it was just the bottom. I don't know. And then like the curly. Okay, so now the new thing though, the new thing is that there's 2 of them. And sometimes they depict it. I can't quite figure out what is... In this one, they depict them differently, but I haven't really quite figured out if this is a standard thing. But there's now Eye of Ra versus Eye of Horus. So the side of the eye now counts, apparently. And that is new for me. I didn't think there's 2 Eye of Ra versus Eye of Horus. I kind of wonder if maybe there was one from one timeline, one from another... So apparently now is that now am I looking out, or is that thing looking in at me? Is this the right eye of somebody else, or is it my left eye? But The pointing one to points to the right is the Eye of Ra. Ra points to the right. So you're going to remember that way. So Eye of Horus points to the left. So see if I can find out if there's some kind of system besides this image. So now over here it shows Eye of Ra and Eye of Horus. But the Horus has a non-filled in eyeball. And this one does, but they otherwise look the same. So are they like drawn the same? I don't know. Have we not decided yet? The timeline's still working on it. So apparently they have different symbolisms. It's the Eye of Ra is the falcon sun god. The Eye of Horus is the falcon pharaoh god. I don't know. What does all that mean? They just made it up. Tomorrow it'll be different anyway. The celestial eyes. Journey through the ancient Egypt's Eye of Horus. Understanding the difference. Let's see. I think I clicked on this before. Every symbol whispers stories untold. The most iconic symbol is the Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus. Though frequently mistaken for one another, these two symbols have distinct origins and meanings. Eye of Ra is symbol of the sun. And the Wedjat eye, or the Eye of Horus, is the left eye of the god Horus. And its protection, blah, blah. Anyway, they're all different. I don't know if I really want to go into the whole details, but there's two of them. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. There's two of them now. I don't remember there being two of them. I know I've looked into this thing before, and I did not see two of them then, because I was talking about the tier thing. And I think Jackie were talking about the tier thing, and I don't know if you saw my old video and were commenting on that, but yes, I have commented that I don't remember. It's so weird to hear your stuff, because it's like, yes, I did notice that at some point. Yeah, we're almost there. So we're almost at the end. Oh, yeah. Vivian, I was going to have that on, but I didn't have time. But yeah, I guess I can squeeze it in. Aristolochia gigantea plant. I can squeeze this in. I have like 2 minutes. So we've had these like corpse plants and giant flower things, but I don't think we've had this one. Let me see if I can find that. There's an image where it just shows these big blobs. Here it is. So that's like creepy. These things are huge. And then there's just like, they look like these giant bulbous organ blobs. More weird vine stuff, basically. And yeah, I have not seen this thing before. We don't have enough weird plants yet. I mean, you know, it's not showing any signs of stopping. It's just... What the heck is even... That's some other Aristolochia. I mean, there's gonna be like a whole flower thing that's like... And then goes here, and then there... I mean, like, how weird is that? I don't know. It can be a whole maze, and it's just like one giant flower. Eye of Igor, not on the... I don't know if you're joking or not. Yeah, the Eye of Ra is... I think that's the new one. They mirrored the eye and renamed it. Yeah, but now it has a whole different... Oh, this is this, and it's not that, and... Everything is getting so complicated. Like, we don't have enough complications. We've got to have... Like, the stories are, like, multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. Which is interesting. I mean, like... Everybody can have their whole separate reality now just because there's so much. You'll never be able to track it all. You'll never follow it all anymore. All right. Well, anyways, you know, the drill. Try to think good thoughts. Paddle towards the shores of good thoughts as much as you can, even when things don't seem that great. I really do think that the more you try when things are hard, that actually has more power than when you try when things are easy. So definitely thank you all for coming. Think good thoughts, everybody. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.